Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 1971 Winter Baseball Classic. We got a series tonight between Memphis and Athens. A couple of nice music towns in various eras who meet for a little baseball game. And let's take a look at the tournament schedule here. We have seen the Team Mexico and Chula Vista get a series win. We've seen Halifax get a series win. We got Athens, Memphis, and Hollywood, South Carolina. Athens, Memphis, both teams began the this round of the tournament with 7-5 records. Athens is an 8 seed, Memphis is a 4 seed. Athens was in a tougher division. Memphis is an easier one. Memphis had an easier path to get there. Athens had a tougher one. So don't let the seeds fool you. Athens is good at or better than. And it shows, folks. Games 1 and 2 in Memphis. Here we have they put some bases out in the parking lot behind Sun Studio, built up a wall. You got a baseball. You play baseball there. Okay, so you got Athens at Memphis. Game 1, Mike Cuellar versus Phil Niekro. Boy, we hope these guys go long. Oh, do they ever, folks? This thing is scoreless through 7. Top of the 8th, you get a Sanguian triple, and Crawford knocks him in. Athens goes up 1-0. Bottom of the inning, an error by Bobby Wine, a 2E14 shortstop. I always talk about my defense closing out games, but in this particular instance, they got an error off a 2E14 shortstop. He scores on a double. So it's 1-1. But then in the 9th, Athens strikes again. After a walk and a sac bunt, Eddie Leon with an RBI single. 2-1. Cuellar finishes it. 2-1 final. Cuellar, 9 innings, 5 hits, and an unearned run. Niekro, 9 innings, 8 hits, and 2 runs. But Athens gets the road win in Game 1 in Memphis. And can the Memphis Beals, named after Beale Street, can they get a win, or are they going to be feeling the blues? Well, we'll find out. John Matlack, a very young rookie, 71, he pitched some innings, didn't ruin his rookie status because he wins Rookie of the Year in 72, but he got his 71 nameless card written into the league against Sam McDowell, a couple of lefties. Another low-scoring affair. RBI single by Al Kaline in the top of the inning. You get a sac fly and a single by Pinson. It's 2-1 home team. But then in the 5th, the road team gets a ground out and an RBI single, again by Kaline. It's 3-2. Memphis just does not have an offense, folks, and they got the names, but the names just don't do a whole lot. They got Frank Robinson, Amos Otis, Bob Robertson, Tony Perez, Johnny Bench, Vada Pinson. Would you believe most of those guys are just not on one of their best years? Is the best way I can describe it. They're just not scoring many runs, and that's what happens in Strat sometimes. Wasn't the year for those guys. A lot of those players I just mentioned were better in 70, or might be better in 72, but for some reason 71, they're kind of meh. Athens wins 4-2. 2 straight road wins in Memphis, and now they get to go home and inhale some of that Georgia red clay in their lungs. Here we are in Athens for Game 3. The Athens red clay versus the Memphis Beals. Your Game 3 starters, Doyle Alexander, you got to win this one, the next one in Athens, and come back home to Memphis is your task. Otherwise, you're done. Doyle Alexander has that task. And Athens at home will send Tony Cloninger, who I believe we saw earlier in this tournament. We can see him again. Just kind of the way the ball bounces sometimes, folks. Let's get started from Athens, Georgia. Potential elimination game. And it'll be Amos Otis leading off for Memphis. 1-9's a base hit. He's a double-A stealer. Sanguine's got a -3 arm. Let's try a stolen base since you're down in the series. You need a break. And he rolls an 11, and he's barely in there. Just by a whisker. Al Oliver, 33, is hit by the pitch. Frank Robinson, 5'11", is a walk, and Cloninger not doing well to start. Johnny Bench, 1-2, and Johnny Bench has the 1-2 card, which is not a good card to have because he hit 238. But in this particular instance, it is a 4-run homer for John Bench. 4 batters, 4 runs, and Memphis suddenly turns everything around They've scored 4 runs. He only scored a single run and 2 runs in the first 2 games. So they scored 4 in the first 4 batters. Amazing. Beta Pinson, 1-7, rolls the third. Tony Perez, catcher's card. This is Sanguine's a 2E6. And Maxwell, 38, single. And Jim Stewart, 5'11", pitcher X. Cloninger is an E31. And he kicks that ball. And with 2 outs and 2 on, it's Pat Corrales. Fly ball to center field. 4-zip. Can Athens come back and still get a series win in 3? Matty Alou, 64, pops to second. Grabarkowitz, 2 9s a walk. Manny Sanguine, 67, flies to left. Willie Crawford, 62, rolls back to the mound. Top of 2, Amos Otis, 1-6. Homer on a 1, fly ball, the rest. Al Oliver, 2-5, rolls the first. Frank Robinson, 53, right X. This is K-Lines, a 2E0 in right field, makes the grab. Tommy A.G., 37, is a K. Al K-Line, 58, pops a short. Len Randall, 57, is a single. And Tom Egan, 1-6, is a K. You're not going to see the cards during the game. We're going to show all the cards for the team that gets eliminated from this series. At the end of the video, you'll see all 20. So no sense sending them up there now for you. Johnny Bench, who hit the granny in the first at-bat. 66 is this guy to center field. Vita Pinson, bounce to second X. This is Len Randall's a 4 second baseman, but he makes the play. And with 2 outs, Tony Perez strikes out. 7 in a row by Cloninger after the disastrous first. Eddie Leone, 2-8, K. Matty Alou, 1-7, rolls the third. Billy Grabarkowitz, 37's a walk. With 2 outs. Sanguine, 68, base at the left field. 2 on, 2 outs for Willie Crawford. 1-8, Willie Crawford hits his card, the 1-8 card. Homer, 1-14, and he's got it on a 13. Willie Crawford, with 2 outs, puts Athens back into the game. Crawford has a future card with the Dodgers, but in 71 he hit 281, 9 homers, and 342 at-bats. This card will not replace the card he's got in the Summer League, we do not believe. But he's in here just because they need players. Tommy A.G., 56, pops a second. You've got the mix, of course, of players. 4 different ways a player gets here. He has been placed on waivers. He's an exclusive free agent. He's got protection by his team. He's got a card in a future year in my Summer League, so I don't use that card here. Or he's never been in the Strat-O-Matic League before and he's a free agent. So we'll trace that path, of course, at the end of the video. Top of the 4th, Dale Maxwell. 56 is a walk. Jimmy Stewart, 32, fouls the catcher. Pat Corrales, 310 left. And Amos Otis, 311, walks. 2 on, 2 outs. For Al Oliver, 1-5, rolls to second base. Bottom of the 4th. Al K-Line, 2-9 short. Len Randall, 47 is a single. Tom Egan, 37, Tom Egan. This is double 1 to 9. Single ... You got runners in the corners. You got to bring the infield up for the A-bunting Leone with a 1-run lead. The pitch to Eddie Leone. 1-9. He delivers triple 1. Single ... It is single ... in Athens. Has erased the 4-0 deficit. Ties the game at 4 with runners on the corners with 1 out. Alexander's a starter 7. He's going to have to figure this one out. I'm going to bring the infield up for Matty Alou. 2-6, Matty Alou, double 1 to 6 is a base hit, and there goes Athens taking the lead. Memphis has to feel snake bit. Runners on the corners, still up. Grabarkowitz, 32. Short B's. The guy gets gunned down at the plate with the infield up. You got first and second 2 outs for Manny Sanguine. 1-6 is double 1 to 15. That is a double. That will score 1 runner. Second and third 2 outs for Willie Crawford, who homered earlier, and he strikes out here. It is 6-4 in the 5th inning. And Memphis, it's almost like a fluke to get those 4 runs here when they've otherwise done pretty much nothing offensively in this series. Can they get some more offense in this? That'll be Frank Robinson in the 5th. 2-6, grounds to short. Frank Robinson is on the move in the Summer League. Got traded to an expansion team. His card is up. The card that went from Baltimore to Cleveland now goes to Portland as he bounced around baseball at the end of Frank's career, when he went from Baltimore to the Dodgers, the Angels, the Indians. So, kind of mimicking some of baseball history, even though we changed some of the team names and stops. Johnny Bench, 57's a K. Vada Pinson, 2-4. Rolls a short. Bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Alright, Pinson, Doyle Alexander's not broken. But if he gets into more trouble in the 5th, we'll hook him as they're on the verge of elimination here. Tommy A.G., 69, double 1 of 3 is a double. Al Kaline, 2-5 is a hit by the pitch. I think we're going to do it right there. Seen enough, 4 innings and 2 batters, and he's been awful, just terrible, giving up 6 runs and 2 base runners here, and their season is on the brink. And the bottom of the lineup is not that particularly compelling. They'll bring Dan McGinn out of the bullpen in the 5th. With 2 on, nobody out. And batting for Len Randall. Look at Bobby Wine in the game and play short just because he's a good defensive player. And they'll move Leone to second. Bobby Wine. 1-6. It's a pop to second base. Tom Egan. 2-7 is a K. And with 2 outs, it's Eddie Leone. 56 is a walk. And you got bases loaded, 2 outs. Matty L. Lou will swing away. 39 is a ground ball to short. And it's day 6-4, so Dan McGinn does the job in that particular frame. We'll go to the 6. Cloninger is a starter 6 with 2-run leads. We're not going to let this guy lose. He puts a couple guys on, we'll quick hook him. We got another reason why Athens is so good. They got Raleigh Fingers, Mo Drabowski, Tom Hall, Ted Abernathy, all in their bullpen. This is a good Athens baseball team. Tony Perez would give a major league team a run for its money in the Summer League. 45. Homer 1-8 double, and it's a home run. And we got a 6-5 game. Cloninger having trouble keeping the ball in the park. Funny, Cloninger pitched for the Cincinnati Reds, and he's given up home runs to Johnny Bench and Tony Perez in this game. Dale Maxfield shouldn't have a problem with a home run here. 47, double 1 of 4, fly ball the rest, and he gets the fly ball the rest. That's good for Cloninger. Jim Stewart, 68, pops to short, and with 2 outs, it's Pat Corrales. 2-9 Corrales is a single. With 2 outs, it's Amos O's. I think we're going to quick hook him. I'm going to go Raleigh Fingers because Raleigh Fingers is a long man. He's a relief 4, starter 5, so we'll leave him in for a bit. We want to protect Cloninger from a defeat with a 6-5 lead. So Raleigh Fingers comes on in the 6th inning, and he will face Amos Otis. 2-6 is a single to right field. Corrales holds his second. First and second for Al Oliver. 2-7 is a single to right field again. Corrales, though, is not a base runner at all. He's a 10. 11-12, but K-Line's in right field with -3 arm, so he is not going to challenge that arm. And now you got Frank Robinson with the bases loaded and 2 outs, down 6-5. The pitch to Frank Robinson. 2-9 is a grounder to third. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Crawford is the third batter up and left-handed, so he'll pitch through to Crawford. For Barkowitz, 4-12, right. Sanguian, 1-9's a single. And batting for Crawford will be George Foster. That'll do it for McGinn. He goes an inning and a third. And we'll go Wayne Granger in the 6th for Memphis. Trying to make a remarkable comeback. Down 0-2 in the series. 1 inning at a time. George Foster, runner at first, 1 out. The pitch to Foster. 2-9 is a 6-4-3 double play. All right, it is 6-5 in the 7th. It'll be Johnny Bench. Homered in the first. 5-12 off fingers, flies to center. Ada Pinson, 57 skies the center. And with 2 outs, it's Tony Perez. 46 is a K. Raleigh Fingers rallies after a shaky 6th. 3 up and 3 down in the 7th inning of a 6-5 Athens league. It is stretch time here in Athens. We are enjoying listening to the REM Reckoning LP of 1984 from Athens, Georgia. Different timeline, I understand, but play a lot of different music in this tournament than I do in the Summer League when I try and match it up to the years of 71 to 74. So I like to vary the music a little in this tournament. Makes it a little more fictional and kind of fun. So in the bottom of the 7th, Wayne Granger will continue. He'll face Tommy A.G. 4-4 is a walk. A.G.'s an ace stealer, but you do have bench. You don't want to test him. Al Kaline. 2-7's a strikeout. Bobby Wine. 2-7's a walk. You walk Bobby Wine. Not a good look there. 2 on, 1 out. Granger's a relief 3. He can't break. Tom Egan. 68 is a single to left field. Now, AG can run here. 15 runner against the +2 arm of Frank Robinson. It's a 17. He's going to run. And he is thrown out on a 19. Wow. Big throw there, keeping this a 1-run game. So you still have 2 on with 2 outs, and it's Eddie Leone. And he pops to third. Well, Athens has really squandered some opportunities in this. And they lead you 6-5. They need 6 outs to get. Fingers will continue. He's a long man. He's a relief 4, starter 5 with this card. It'll be Dale Maxwell. 1-4 is a single. Jim Stewart. 34 lines the first. Pat Corrales, 67 is a K. And with 2 outs, it'll be Amos Otis. 4-4 Amos Otis, short X, off fingers. This is Bobby Wine at 2E14, and he makes the play. We'll take fingers out after 2 1/3 and let someone else try and close this out. Don't want to wear him out. 8 innings in the book, 6-5. Wayne Granger, same thing there. We'll take him out after an inning and 2/3. We'll go Mike McQueen in the 8th. McQueen is in, well, really need to look at a couple of these guys. Pete Mickelson is on the keeper list for the Dodgers. Mike McQueen is on the keeper list for Atlanta. I want to get a look at these 71 cards to see if we'll select them in the summer. So McQueen will face Matty Alou to lead off the bottom of the 8th. 111 rolls the first. Billy Grabarkowitz, 3-6 is a double to right field. Manny Sanguillen, 1-7. Sanguillen, double 1 at 10's an RBI single. We got a 7-5 game. George Foster, 6-12 pitcher B, and with 2 outs, it's Tommy A.G. 67 is a K. Insurance run, 7-5 in the 9th. And we're going to start the 9th inning with Tom Hall. He is on the keeper list of the Ohio expansion team. And Tom Hall, 71 is not his best year in the 4-year sequence. It was a twin, 4-7, 332. It's a good card, and that's why we're taking a look at it. But we think he's much better when he's a Cincinnati Red in 1972. He's pretty dominant. That's a card we'll probably get in the league, but we'll take a look at this one. In the 9th inning of a 7-5 game, all the defense is in there. Can they get a 3-game sweep and put them in the Final Four? It'll be Al Oliver. And you know what? We're going to pinch hit for Al as a lefty versus lefty. Because we got some big boppers on the bench, and that's Bob Robertson, another guy we need to take a look at. Funny, but Al Oliver and Bob Robertson are both on the Pirate keeper list. This is an interesting team, Memphis, is in that they've got Pirates and Reds commingling. Like they're, you know, the Hatfields and the McCoys, but not for this team. They mend their bridges and they can coexist, Reds and Pirates. So here's Bob Robertson. 55 off Tom Hall, triple 1-6 double. That's a 2-base hit. And now you got Frank Robinson as your tie run. 47 is a walk, and Tom Hall's blowing this thing. Johnny Bench is better against righties and lefties, believe it or not. So Hall will pitch to him. 2-4 pops to short. Now you got Vada Pinson, the lefty that Hall wants to face. 1-7's a K, and with 2 outs, it all comes down to Tony Perez. Now you're looking for that 3-run homer here, and I think we're going to get Hall out of here now. And we're going to go Ted Abernathy, as he does not have any homers on his card, to try and get the save. Ted Abernathy was acquired by the Reds. He was part of that Reggie Smith deal in the offseason. So Abernathy's going to try and get the final out and get a save and get a sweep. It comes down to this. You got the tying runs on base. You got Tony Perez at the plate with the 1-5 card, 1-5-7-10 card. And Athens is an out away from the sweep in the Final Four. A lot on the line right here, folks. Ted Abernathy to Tony Perez. And here's the pitch. 35 is a walk. And now the bases are loaded. Perez is the lead run, but you have Dale Maxfield in there. And if you're wondering, on the bench, you've got the 205 bat of Dave Concepcion and the 227 bat of Gene Alley. And frankly, Dale Maxfield at least has some walks on his card. It's 225. So Maxfield will bat with the bases loaded. Maybe you can get a walk to continue this thing. Can we get a double with one of the... You know, the thing is that they're the same template cards. I'm going to let Maxfield bat. The pitch to Dale Maxfield. 6-10 off of Abernathy is a catcher's card. That will not win the game for the visitors. Sanguine's a 2E6. All you need to do is avoid the error. And there it is, as a pass ball and foul out. The dreaded PB foul out ends the game by scoring a run on a pass ball, but the game's over. And they fall a run short. 7-6 with an unearned run in the 9th. And that's a weird way to get a save, but it counts. 7-6 is your final. It is a 3-game sweep for Athens. Abernathy gave up a walk. And then Tom Hall in the 9th gave up a hit and a K and an unearned run. Hit a walk, a K, and an unearned run. Raleigh Fingers, 2 1/3. Gave up 2 hits, 3 hits, and 2 Ks. Cloninger, everything else. Cloninger gets the win. 5 hits, 5 runs. That grand slam in the 1st, the solo home run in the 6th was all the damage. 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. McQueen pitched the 1 inning in the 8th. And that run would prove very important, the insurance run. 2 hits, a run, and a K. Wayne Granger, inning and 2/3. Let's see what we got down there. Double play ball. Okay. So it was a hit. That hit was charged to the starter, to McGinn. So he gave up a hit, a walk, a hit, 2 walks, and a K. And Mr. McGinn pitched to Bobby Wine. Got him out. Gave up a walk and a K. I hit a walk and a K as well. Doyle Alexander takes the loss. 9 hits, 6 runs. It all happened in the 3rd and 4th innings. Everything was earned. Walked 3, struck out 4. 1019, 0108, 713, 69. 6-5-6-7. So the home team that got the victory got 13 hits and 6 walks, put 19 men on base. The visitors put 15 men on base. And Athens was really the better team in all 3 games. A 3-game sweep. We'll look at the tournament numbers, and at the end of this video, we'll have an elimination of the Memphis players. You get to look at all of them then. Not a good finish at all for Memphis. A team that got a bye and a number 3 seed ends up the tournament, I believe, with a losing record, which is remarkable. Just goes to show they were very lucky to win in the winner's bracket and in the loser's bracket. Athens is 10-5 after not getting knocked out of the round of 7 and then rallying after that in the loser's bracket and in the round of 3 and today. 10-5 for Athens, a .314 batting average, a .391 earned run average. This bullpen's been fantastic. Finger, Shabowski, Tom Hall, and Abernathy. 3 saves for Abernathy. They have Cuellar on this team. Mike Cuellar is 4-1 in his starts. Not a lot of home runs. Batting average, you got 26 hits for Manny Sanguillen. That's not a shocker. He hits .319 with his card. So great stats for Athens. And now let's take a look at Memphis, who finished 7-8. Unreal. 7-8. They only hit .231. They had a .443 ERA. Both bad numbers. They were very fortunate to get this far. They scored 56 runs in this tournament and gave up 67. So they got really lucky to get a bye. And your traditional players, you know, Johnny Bench was 9 for 58. I can tell you right now that's a .155 batting average. That's just not going to work. And we knew we're not going to take that Bench card. But what a big come down for Bench, going from 70 to 71. You know, arguably one of the greatest Strat-O-Matic cards we've ever seen in 1970, Johnny Bench. And then 71, woo! He had a wild off season and just didn't work out. 7-8. Pete Mickelson, though, did get 6 saves in the 7 victories. That portends well for the Dodgers, who have his rights. And Mike McQueen only gave up that 1 run in that game in 9 1/3 innings, so he did okay. So we have played exactly 100 games in the tournament thus far, folks. .271 batting average and a .441 ERA. Just goes to show you that the hitting is better than we thought at the bottom of the 1971 season. It must have been still a good year for hitting. I think it's much better than 72. Between the 2 years, there seems to be a downward trajectory of hitting from 69 to 72. 69 was a year of expansion and offense exploded. But by 72, I think there's a labor shortage or a labor interruption, a strike, either in 72 or at the beginning of 73, coinciding with the DH rule and things like that. And 72 is a very uneven season, not a lot of gaudy numbers in 72, but 71 has some amazing performances. All right, that's it. You'll see the elimination of Memphis coming up next. Thanks for checking this stuff out. We'll see you next time. All right, baseball fans, this is eliminating the Memphis Beals baseball team. They did get a bye after narrow wins in the winners and losers bracket, but after that, not much. They got dusted 3 straight by Athens. .231 batting average and a .443. There's some nice names here. There's some good baseball players here. But 71 wasn't really kind of a lot of them. Let's see. Where do we see something exceptional? Well, let's see. We had Amos Otis hitting .293 with 6 stolen bases in the leadoff spot for this club. Most of the power bats were down. Frank Robinson had 12 walks in the 15 games. That's good. But Bench and Perez, nothing going on there. They both had Perez had a decent 71, but Bench did not. Bench had .238 after the MVP. 155 in attorney. Vada Pinson was also bad. 153. Bob Robertson has a really nice 71 card. His contract is up with the Pirates. He hit 200 in this tournament. Didn't hit a home run. That's not what you want to show your boss. Pitching wise, Mickelson, 6 saves in 7 1/3 innings, even with a high ERA. That bodes well for the Dodgers, who have his rights. McQueen as a setup guy was nice. Atlanta has his rights. Really interesting, Joe Niekro, believe it or not, is a UDFA because he didn't do a whole lot between 69 and 71, was not in the league. in my league because he wasn't very good. And but in this little tournament, he had a couple of nice starts. So we'll see what happens in the summer. Wayne Granger was doing Wayne Granger stuff. Scoreless job setting up. Sam McDowell went 0-3 as a lefty who pitches on 3 days rest. Doyle Alexander was bad. Yeah. And now let's take a look at their 71 stats. And Memphis, you've got the 4 waivered players are Gene Alley, Pat Corrales, Jimmy Stewart, and Dan McGinn. Then the guys who are keepers, and these are big names, folks. Johnny Bench, probably not 71. Al Oliver, probably not 71. Tony Perez, maybe. Vada Pinson, maybe. Bob Robertson should be. That's his best year. Frank Robinson, you'd have to think 71 since he gets older and probably not as good. Sam McDowell, Pete Mickelson, and Mike McQueen. A long list of keepers. Then you got the green guys who have a future card. Concepcion, definitely better in the future. Maxfield doesn't really matter too much. He's defense, no bat. Amos Otis has a fantastic year with Kansas City in 73. That's the card we're using. Phil Negro, his years are all about the same, so it doesn't really matter which one you use. Wayne Granger, we got his 72 World Series year, and Doyle Alexander is lights out for the 72 Orioles. And Toronto picked that up in the expansion draft, so they're very happy with Doyle Alexander. No need to use this card. And you see the only UDFA, the unshaded one, is Joe Niekro, who actually did this with Detroit. He was 6-7 with a 4.49 ERA with the Tigers in 122 innings. So let's take a look at these cards for Memphis and see how they look. So we have Jim Stewart on waivers. Really more of a pinch hitter who can play the outfield, but his versatility is valued. The stick is just not worth the trouble, I don't think. He's a 232, but I mean, if you're looking for that last guy in the roster and you want a switch hitter, who really is a left-handed batter when you think about it, but a guy who can play the infield and the outfield and gets on base with the walks, you might take him. Gene Alley, Pirates could not afford to keep him on their list, so they put him on waivers with a kind of a handshake agreement that, hey, Gene, if nobody claims you, we might pick you up to come back and play shortstop for us. He would have won a World Series ring for the Pirates in that year. Pat Corrales, catcher versus righties only, without power. I don't see that. Probably not going to make it. And Dan McGinn, very kind to not retire this card and simply let him go on waivers. Because he throws with his left arm, we're very reluctant to retire guys. Though, as you can see, you could have some fun with him against lefties, though, and hope you get the outs on 5, 6, and 7, and only have to deal with those walks. Good luck with any team wanting to play that little game of blackjack. He's got a 5.96 ERA for a reason. But you could trick the system by just being a situational lefty out of the pen. But it's very risky, I would say, wasting a roster spot on that guy. Oh, we hate to see this Johnny Bench do so just crappily there. Big come down in 71, but don't worry about it, folks. He'll be the MVP again in 72. It is a momentary lapse of reason for Johnny. Al Oliver, we really want you to play center field for a few minutes because we have a logjam at first base and we don't have a center fielder. We got rid of Matty Alou. So here Oliver's a 4. He'll actually be better in 2, 3, or 4. And that's what they'll take. The Reds may have to take this Tony Perez because this is his last year where I think he can play third. Because Lee May is still over at first. And he has a nice year here, as you can see. He's the third best hitter on this 71 team. This may not be his best year in the 4-year timeline, but it's still a very good year. And so sometimes you might have to compromise when you have a lot of guys up in a particular year. And that would be the 72 World Series year. Pete Rose is a MVP in 73. So Perez may have to be the 71 Cincinnati player. Vada Pinson, left-handed batter, can play center field. Sometimes he hits lefties better than this. I would take a card that does that. Here's the monster Bob Robinson card I was talking about. Boy, he really crushes home runs and with the walks. This is a monster card. Yeah, you wonder why the Pirates won the World Series. My God, they had some sticks. 271, 26 bombs here. Probably the best of years 71 to 74. It'd be a real shame if Pittsburgh did not get this card in the league and picked a different one, because they're stuck with 71, not stuck, but they have to take 71 Roberto Clemente and probably 71 Manny Sanguillen. So they can't take 3 guys from any particular year. That's the problem when you win a World Series. You're limited to 2 guys per season in the draft, and Robertson and Al Oliver may have to be selected differently. Here's Frank Robinson, still with Baltimore. Speaking of that Pirate World Series, he was in it. 281, 28 homers. But the Orioles saw the writing on the wall and decided to let him go to the Dodgers and then the Angels and then the Indians. And we kind of made that happen sooner than later. It's a nice card. It really is. A lot of walks. Still got the power. Defense is not what it used to be. And speed, things like that. Sam McDowell always gives up walks, homers, but strikes guys out. I like that out on 5-6 against the lefties. That's nice. Not a bad card for Sam, pitching on 3 days rest. Mickelson in a nice tournament. He's a righty, gets righties out. Not so much against lefties. Ooh, a lot of homers against lefties, but 8 is an out, and 7's an out. The only bad thing about this card are those home runs. If he can keep the ball in the park, he'll be a nice setup guy. But he did give up 10 homers in 74 innings. Speaking of homers, McQueen gives them up, but otherwise, this kid was brought up as a 19-year-old. So he's still, what's it say here, his age? McQueen is, yes, he's just 20 years old in 71. He rushed this kid because this might be his last year. But this is a nice little card. I'll get this in the league. Very nice card. For a very young pitcher. Rush to the majors. We got Concepcion with a future card, so we don't want this one. Dale Maxfield, doesn't really matter. He's a 2. He's a B-hit runner here. That's nice. You saw these walks, which are very nice against righties. It's not a bad card. Amos Otis got the fantastic defense, double-A stealer, 17 runner, power both ways. But he's got a better year. I don't know if it's 301. It might be a sideways year. We got a future year of him of 73 that we're using. Phil Niekro, again, this evaluation, it doesn't really matter. He's pretty much the same kind of performance year in and year out. And we have his 72 card, I believe, in the league, and 71's about the same. Same with Granger. It's a nice card. Very similar, 71 and 72 for him as well. Doyle Alexander's 72 is better than this. This card is okay as a starter 7. He's still a starter 7 in 72, but his ERA is under 3. And that's the card Toronto has. And then this last card here is your only undrafted free agent. And believe it or not, it's Joe Niekro, who's not a young... How old is he here? He's 26 years old in 71. So he's probably still figuring out the knuckleball. And you can see it's just not solid enough. He's a Tiger. I think he was a Padre as well. 6'7", 450. And it's still going to take a little bit of time before he's that great starting pitcher for the Houston Astros in the late 70s. So we'll have to see what his future is. Do we bring him into the league in 71, or do we wait a few more years until he's mastered the knuckleball? That'll be a wait and see on Joe Niekro. And folks, that is eliminating the Memphis team, the Memphis Beals of Beale Street, Music City, America. They've been eliminated. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.